Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic Halley, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at halleyelise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone. If I sound a little off tonight, you'll have to forgive me. I have a bit of laryngitis that seems to have taken hold, but I'll do my best to still, share with you. I have throat lozenges here. I'm ready to go. It's been an interesting week so far, and here it is only Monday, right? I've been giving a lot of thought to how people respond. Now, we know that each of us has a different mindset. Each of us has a different upbringing. Each of us has a different opinion. And yet it's fascinating to me that something so, what I would think is commonplace, would be taken with disdain or taken with a different meaning. Let me give you an example. And it's interesting. This has come up for me the last couple of months. So I'm really thinking about how I speak, how I communicate as well, because it's important. If I say something and someone is offended, I do want to know about it. But today specifically, I shared something online about Hawaii, and I simply said, remember Hawaii in your prayers. There's a gent that I know for many years. We actually went to school together, and his response was that he would not be so arrogant as to believe that his prayers or our prayers would make a difference in Hawaii, and that nature and science would take care of what it needs to, and that was enough for him. That was the gist of it. And I looked at it, and I thought, wow, not what I meant at all. What I meant was, remember Hawaii in your prayers, the people that are being affected by this, the people that have to leave their homes, or those who sadly and unfortunately will lose their lives, and then their families and their loved ones who will need to be consoled. Isn't it interesting how we can say something or we can think something and it's totally misconstrued? Now, when it comes to things having to do with the paranormal, things having to do with psychic ability, for years and years, people made assumptions. And there's still many that do. For instance, a friend just told me recently that someone she knows through church said anything that has to do with the metaphysical is evil. It's bad, including meditation. I thought, wow, including meditation? But in mosques, in churches, in synagogues, we all meditate. It's all a part of prayer, all a part of our connection to the divine, going within, contemplating, understanding. How interesting is it that someone was under the belief that meditation was evil? Kind of fascinating if you think about it. So the message here really is, give thought to not only what it is you're thinking when you're sharing, give thought to how it may be perceived. Another thing that happened today that I thought was interesting, a gent who I know from up north who's also a speaker. He was on a plane on his way home from an event, and he heard in the seat behind him someone saying about the numbers, the statistics, how many people had they spoken with, and how it brought him to the thought of, is it what is being shared? Do you have to keep track of the numbers? What is it really that the world community looks at? And my response to that was, never kept an eye on the numbers, and it's been decades that I've been speaking in public. Maybe that's something I need to start looking at. But then it dawned on me, it was more a matter of how I've always perceived things, which is you can have a multitude of letters behind your name. You can have so much background as to say that you've worked with huge companies and that you've spoken with a myriad of people from different circumstances, and that number is in excess of 10,000, perhaps. Does that mean that you're an expert? Does it mean that what you've shared has been perceived in the way that you are directing it? Really give thought to that. This is the type of thing that I'm referring to. There are so many conversations going on right now about healing, about communication, about love, about how we all interact in our world, whether it has to do with religion or politics or nationality, whether it has to do with a neighbor because they want to cut the tree down or they don't want to cut the tree down. How often are we only coming from our point of reference? Something to really consider, because most of us, when we speak from what we know. We speak from our experience. Many of us have had education where we are more thoughtful of neurolinguistic programming, which has to do with how we communicate and how it's understood, both to ourselves and to others. The gist, though, is really taking just a pause, taking a beat, to allow yourself a moment to consider, how are you saying things? How are they being said? Very important, and especially when it comes to loved ones. If someone says to you, for instance, well, I didn't know that was going to hurt your feelings, you probably don't feel validated. You probably don't feel as if they're hearing you in this moment, even though what their intention might be is to say, I'm hearing what you said, and I apologize. But if it comes out to, well, I didn't know, it's almost as if they don't care. Have you done that? Do you hear others speak that way? And if you're wondering, okay, the show is supposed to be about spirituality and supposed to be about metaphysics, it's supposed to be about holistic, well, what's up with this? Well, if you really give some thought to it, everything we do gives us an opportunity to share, to communicate, to give out and receive. If we do it better, then we make a difference. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the Halley Elise Show. And you can call in for your psychic reading at 888-565-1470. Thank you.
This is Alyssa, the Paint Girl. Car accidents happen. Get the most affordable, convenient, superior vehicle repair with concierge service. The Paint Girl provides pickup and delivery with no additional cost. Our body shops have over 30 years combined experience. The Paint Girl handles all makes, models, lease return repairs, and insurance claims. Your smart choice for vehicle repair, the Paint Girl. Call 954-691-7024. That's 954-691-7024.
This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
You have been listening to empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we took a quick little break, I was talking about communicating and the fact that how we communicate makes a big difference. And when it comes to metaphysics, when it comes to doing psychic readings, a great example is years ago, I knew this gal who, superb at what she did. She's actually still around, but she's quite old these days. And she would see somebody, for instance, in an elevator, and she'd say, you're going to die at the age of 45, or you're going to get into a car accident today. Unprovoked, she would just go ahead and share. And it always disturbed me because my thought here is, doesn't matter if she's accurate or not. The way that I see sharing this information is to honor and support the person I'm speaking with. Scaring them doesn't make sense. Having them feel as if they have absolutely no time doesn't make sense. I really believe that you have the capacity to share information with a positive overtone. Someone asked me recently about, do I hold back information? I don't. I do my best, though, to share it in a way that is as empowering and as constructive as possible. And for instance, many years ago, there was a family member's friend who used to come to me for readings all the time. And I was sitting with her, and I had this horrible, horrible image of a small female child drowning. I had this overwhelming feeling that this wasn't a maybe, this was, oh my gosh, how do I share this? Because I did get that there was some sort of relationship to her, but I didn't know who it was. And family friend, how do you share that information? Short version, I did everything in my power to say anybody under the specific age of, female, near water, friend or relative, neighbor, if you are in the vicinity, you need to keep an eye out. I get a very bad feeling, and that's how I phrased it. 9 months later, come to find out, or maybe it was 10 months, but it wasn't that much later, she lost a grandchild, little female child in the bathtub. So again, how we communicate is tremendous, because you want to do your best to help that individual handle whatever it is that's coming up. The idea is not to scare their socks off. Okay. That being said, I think we have a caller on the line. Kelly? Hi, Kelly. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Halley. And I want to say, once again, you have totally freaked me out, and you have come through with what is even down to the name.
Oh, that's too funny.
I know you won't remember, but
No.
it was during our session.
Okay.
So now, as usual, it's been a couple months since I've asked you. So where am I with David?
Okay, David is the other gentleman in your life, yes?
Yeah, the one.
Okay. Oh, fudge. I get a pull still to up north versus down here. I don't get it, for whatever reason, I don't get his energy here yet. It feels like it's more in the fall, if that makes sense. And
yes, it does. That's when he comes back.
Okay. There is that overwhelming sensation that he will reach out to you probably the first week he's back, second week latest, but I feel like he'll reach out to you. And I feel like he'll be more, how can I express this, more attentive than he's been, but still not at that level where you'd like him to be.
Okay.
Okay.
That's typical.
I get
we talk,
movement.
And he is much deeper than he used to be.
Okay.
But he's got a long way to go.
Well, it comes down to patience, doesn't it? And the truth of the matter is, if you are open, you have somebody else in your world who can treat you like a princess. Then we go back to that old saying about the heart wants what the heart wants when the heart wants it. Can you just do yourself a favor, which is, for now, just allow yourself to be in the present. Enjoy every moment to the best of your ability, and then just be open to what comes in the fall.
I will. I really am.
Okay.
The only difference is that, well, I am open physically and present in the moment and
Right.
very happy with my life. I think that maybe I exude an aura of not being available because of this.
I won't say that it's an aura, but it is that idea of energetically being attached to someone. And you may want to give a little bit of credence to the thought that even though I have a connection with this man, I'm open to enjoying what shows up in this moment. And create that as a mantra that you say to yourself on a regular basis. All right, honey?
Good idea. Yes, thank you so much,
Thank
Halley.
you.
And
Have a
keep
great
it
night.
up.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thanks so much. We're going to take just a quick little break here, and then we have a couple of other callers on the line. We'll be right back. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
This is Alyssa, the Paint Girl. Car accidents happen. Get the most affordable, convenient, superior vehicle repair with concierge service. The Paint Girl provides pickup and delivery with no additional cost. Our body shops have over 30 years combined experience. The Paint Girl handles all makes, models, lease return repairs, and insurance claims. Your smart choice for vehicle repair, The Paint Girl. Call 954-691-7024. That's 954-691-7024.
You have been listening to Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise.
Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to give a little holler out to our lovely sponsor, which is The Paint Girl. You can reach The Paint Girl at paintgirlauto.com. She's a whiz with car repair, and she does something that nobody else in the business really does. She offers a concierge service with no additional fees. Pretty amazing. So thank you for being our sponsor as well. If you would, send out some good wishes her way. Her son had a little faux pas and had some surgery. As boys do at times, things happen, and he seems to be okay, but so that his healing is expeditious, just give some good thoughts out to the Paint Girl and her family. Thanks. I believe we have Phyllis on the phone. Are you there, Phyllis?
Yes, Halley, I am, and I have a question.
Okay, sure.
I'm in a lawsuit with my brother for the past 8 months, and it's just been horrendous. And I'm wondering, like, when it will end and how it will end.
You know, it's interesting you say you've been involved with this for the last 8 months, and the overall impression is this should have been settled 3 months ago. I don't mean to be facetious, but I feel as if he's pulling out all the stops, and it's less about winning and more about his ego. You realize that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I want to make a really off-the-wall suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Practice forgiveness. And that doesn't mean that you have to call him up and say, okay, listen, let's put everything aside. Everything's good. Take it all. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about every night before you go to sleep, just ask if you don't have the ability to forgive him personally, that it's done for you. Because what I'm getting is, if he can get over this egomania that he's experiencing, he would settle almost immediately. It's about his feelings more than it is anything else. But even if you do nothing, I would say by November, this should be complete. And I wish I could say it's next week. I wish it was immediate. But I feel like you do have the capacity to speed this up if you can shift it energetically with him.
And will it prevail in the lawsuit?
The impression here is it's a bit more equilibrated than what it looks like now, but it's not exactly what you wanted. So I'm going to give it just arbitrary numbers and things just as an example. Let's say both of you were entitled to $200,000 and 2 properties each. And again, just making stuff up because we're on air.
Right.
And he said, oh, no, I deserve 3 properties and you deserve $50,000. And I'm going to fight you on it. What I get is the ruling would not be identical to what it should have been originally, but it would be pretty darn close. So meaning actual numbers would be a lot closer to what you have in mind. And I keep hearing arbitration here versus going to court. So some sort of mediator getting in the middle, not just back and forth as much. So there's something that's going to shift here in the fall. And I feel like energetically, if you can focus on shifting how you're feeling about this, he'll actually shift. And I know that sounds woo-woo, and I don't mean it to, but really and truly, you know for yourself that when you're in a good mood, better things happen, right? If
always,
when you're looking at something, there's not angst attached to it, things tend to turn on their own. So if you just think of it in that regard, and again, if you are not able to practice forgiveness with him directly, call on the divine. But overall impression is November time frame, give or take, we'll say 2 weeks. And I feel like, again, it's not exactly what you would want, but it's closer than what you're looking at right now.
Well, the legal fees are just astronomical, and I was hoping to get those reimbursed, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. So there's a house involved for sale, and he doesn't want to sell it, and we're just going round and round. And yes, the arbitrator is in the picture, but nothing seems to be moving forward. So I'm being sued up north and here in Florida. So I have 2 attorneys working.
Here's the thing, though. It feels as if up north is more important for whatever reason. It feels like if things are taken care of there, then everything else opens up. And again, as best as you can, think in terms of forgiveness. I know in this moment you probably can't stand him because of his behavior and because none of this should have happened. And it should have been settled so long ago. And again, I go back to, I don't know what took place 3 months ago, but I feel like it was just on the precipice, and it's almost like he got a stick up his butt, and all of a sudden said, nope, not doing anything.
No. Okay, well.
Right, my friend.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I wish you well.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Take good care. Bye-bye. I know we have another caller on the line. I think it's Chris. Are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hi,
Halley. This is Chris, and I love your show, and you're just so amazing.
Oh,
you did a session for me, and it was so accurate, so I'm really excited to be on your show tonight with a question. And my question is, I am applying for a job in Washington, D.C. I currently live in Florida, and I am wanting to see what you feel about me getting this job, and if I do, how it would be with me working back up in Washington, where I used to live before.
It's interesting because I get a very ambiguous feel here. I get a pull towards Washington, which would be a benefit in many ways. I feel like it would be helpful to family. It'd be helpful as far as, we'll say, financially all the way around. But I feel like even if you move there, you're going to be going back and forth. I don't feel like you're done with Florida. I get the overall.
I love Florida.
Okay, the overall impression here, though, is a yes to Washington, but maybe not as quick as you think. So, in other words, if you talk to them now, they may put you off a month. I don't get it being immediate, but I do get back and forth. I don't get it where it's like, oh yes, pack up and everything go.
Okay.
It also feels as if
Got it.
there are things that are not completed here yet, and for some reason I get a pull outside of the country, not as far as work, but we'll say work related. So to me, this would be completely separate from what you would be looking at in Washington. This would be working with other people outside of the country to help them, I'll say, create their business or to get their name out there. That's the best way I can share this.
Yeah. That's right. I used to do that when I lived in Europe, and I am planning to go back to Europe in the fall. So you're right.
Okay.
So that looks good as well, huh?
Yes.
Great.
So you do have multiple things on the table. Just keep in mind that the move towards Washington, not as quick, though it is a viable option there.
Okay.
All right,
and
Chris.
Does it look pretty good with Europe? Thank you. Oh, and I thank you so much. I'm planning to go there in the fall. So I think that sounds great.
There's definitely a good feeling as far as outside of the country. Thanks so much for calling.
Great. Thank you. And you're great, Halley. I love your show.
Thanks. Have a great night. I know we had a couple of other callers online. Apologize. Try to get to everybody, but sometimes we're limited on time. I do wish all of you a beautiful, blessed week. And again, I'm going to say what I said earlier today, which is, if you would, keep Hawaii in mind. If you do prayers, include the people there that they are well taken care of and looked after. Thanks so much. Have a great week. Good night.
Remember to tune in every Tuesday on WNN at 9 p.m. for more peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.